Hey Gemini, welcome to your reading where we're going to be taking a look at how you can call in a healthy, romantic, loving relationship if you so choose. We're going to start first by pulling a couple of oracle cards just to see what energy is surrounding this. And the first card that we have out for you is heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And let's pull another and see what other energies are surrounding this reading for my Gemini collective. And we have Sekhmet. Be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. So I think for a lot of my Geminis out there may have been challenges for you in communicating and expressing how you feel and what it is that you want out of a partner, what it is that you want out of a relationship. So it feels like Spirit is saying that going forward, there's a need to be a little bit more open, a little bit more candid, and quite frankly, a little bit more vulnerable. Because sometimes when you speak your truth, it may be difficult for someone else to accept that. But being honest with yourself, being true to yourself is going to require a certain amount of strength. And sometimes conversations are very, very difficult to have with other people, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. So your ability to engage in that way and to be open and honest is going to be very important in terms of dictating the trajectory of your relationships and your interaction with other people. It's almost like that situation where, you're engaging with someone, you're kind of casually dating, and then you have the conversation, where is this going? What are we going, what are we doing here? And, sometimes the other person is a little bit defensive, like, well, what are you talking about? I wasn't looking for anything serious, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, okay, cool, thank you. That lets me know exactly where I stand, and that lets me know that I can keep my options open from here on out. It might be a situation where the other person was a little bit unsure of what you were looking for and they didn't want to be super forward, so they kind of kept their mouth shut. But I think in order for you to not waste your time and to make your intentions very clear, having those types of conversation, no matter how difficult they may be, are going to be important. So let's jump into some tarot and see what other messages Spirit has for you. Now, something that you can work on outside of making sure that you have open and honest communication with, the person that you have in mind, what can sort of help you attract this love into your life is the Ace of Cups. And I love this card because aces are really about beginnings, right? And cups are all about emotions. And I think that something that you can do to help you attract this love into you is really being open and being ready for a fresh start, being ready for a new beginning when it comes to your romantic life. And we also have that clarified by the Three of Swords in reverse. So for my Geminis out there, I feel like there's probably a fair amount of you that have been through some disappointment or some heartbreak when it comes to romantic relationships. And so if you haven't already embarked on your healing process to sort of put that behind you, this is something that you might consider so that you can have a fresh slate, so that you can have a clean foundation on which to build and explore and all of that good stuff. So basically, I feel like the universe is saying, don't come into this with any baggage. Come into it with lessons learned. Come into it smarter, healthier, stronger, all of that good stuff. But don't come into it with baggage. Now, an idea that you have or a perspective that you have on romantic relationships, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So almost like you have this thought that, love happens randomly. It's really haphazard. It's, whether or not the fates are smiling upon you, right place, right time, etc. And to a certain extent, that's true. But if you are closed off to the idea of love and you're resistant and you're holding on to negativity or toxicity from what you've experienced in the past, then that wheel is just going to keep spinning and spinning and spinning. It's never going to stop in your favor, because whatever you embark on going forward is always going to be built on an unhealthy foundation. And that is trauma and baggage that you've had from the past. And we also have that clarified by the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is moving into calmer waters, coming out of a chaotic place and going to something that's a lot more smooth, that's a lot more predictable. And I think for some of you out there, and don't get mad at me for this, I feel like some of you might be serial relationship hoppers, where you go through an experience with one person and it didn't work out, so you immediately jump to a relationship with another person, and that doesn't work out either. It almost feels as though you are continually seeking someone who will fix the mistakes that a person that you were dealing with in the past have made. And you get very disappointed when that person is not able to atone for the sins of someone else. So, looking for that sort of, calm place in the midst of your own turmoil is pretty much a losing proposition. But the good thing is that you can fix that. Right? It can be helped. We have the Four of Coins, and the Four of Coins is really about holding back a little bit, right? It's not immediately jumping into something and giving your all. It's putting things in reserve and really taking the time to evaluate the other person to see whether or not they are worthy of your coins. So for my Geminis out there, don't give your coins away until somebody proves that they are worth having your coins, whatever your coins means to you. So let's see if we can clarify that a little bit further. And what came out for you is the Hanged Man, seeing things differently, looking at things from a new, fresh perspective. Now, the Hanged Man can be also about a little bit of stagnancy. It can be a pause. It can be being sort of stuck in limbo. But I think for my Gemini collective, in the context of this reading, the Hanged Man is really about viewing things differently. Whereas you might have, sort of jump from person to person, seeking to fill whatever void that was left by the person prior. This is an opportunity for you to view relationships in a different light, where you're not necessarily looking at someone to come and backfill the hole that somebody else left, but really looking at it like, well, what can I offer them and what can they offer me? Like, let's see what happens when I don't just sort of charge forward and, sort of take out my prior relationship angst on them. What can they give me if they had a free and clear foundation to work with? Now, the best way to accept love into your life, this type of healthy love that you're looking for, we have the 10 of Cups. Now, the 10 of Cups is the ultimate in happiness and emotional fulfillment. You're going to have to create that foundation yourself. No one else is going to be able to give it to you. And I think that the healthiest way for you to embark on a new romantic journey is to be whole yourself, where you're not looking for somebody to fill gaps. You're looking for somebody to enhance what it is that you have. And I feel like Aquarius had a very similar message in their reading as well. But we have that clarified by the 7 of Coins and in reverse. So the 7 of Coins is about planting seeds. It's about putting things out there and nurturing them and being patient and waiting for them to grow. But I think for you guys, for my Geminis out there, the best way for you to accept love is to understand where you should plant those seeds, where it is that you should invest your time and energy, and knowing when, basically the land is barren. Like, ain't no water here, ain't no nutrients here, ain't shit here to help it grow. So now it's time for me to leave. So accepting love for you guys is really going to be about discernment. taking care of yourself first and foremost, making sure that you are happy, healthy, and whole in your own life, and then figuring out where your time and energy and with whom it's best invested. Now, why you're worthy of a healthy relationship, we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a card of rest. It's a card of introspection. So I think that if you haven't already, going forward, you're going to be doing a fair amount of introspection and soul searching, right? Figuring out what didn't work for you in the past, figuring out what did work for you in the past, and putting that all together to create this new environment in which you can have this healthy relationship that you're looking for. And we also have the Ten of Coins and the Five of Wands to clarify. Now, the Ten of Coins is about stability. So I think that for my Geminis, and not for a lot of you, I think that you have found your stability. Others of you, I think for the majority of people looking at this reading, are on your way to doing so. So it's like you're looking good, you're smelling good, you're feeling good, your vibes are high, your money's right, all of that. You have a very stable and safe and secure life by yourself. And I think that when you are ready, when you arrive at that point, you're going to be ready and you're going to feel empowered to have the type of relationship that you look for. And with the Five of Wands, it's a card of being defensive, right? So I think that this goes back to you developing this level of discernment to know when and how you should best engage with someone else. You understand when to fight your battles. You understand when and how to advocate for yourself in terms of this relationship. Now, that's someone that's coming in for you. How you can find them, what they're going to be like. We have the Hermit in reverse. So literally right over here, we talked about the Four of Swords, which was a period of quiet, of introspection, of stagnancy. When you've arrived at that place where you're abundant and happy in your own life, you're going to, I think, reach a period where you're ready to get back out in the world. Because the Hermit, when it's upright, is about someone who's on a bit of a soul journey. And it's a very solo endeavor, right? They're walking by themselves. They're learning the lessons. They're figuring out their way through the dark by themselves. But there's going to be a point in time when you are ready to rejoin the world and you're ready to get out there and embrace people and get to know them. And we have the Chariot in reverse. I think that your next person is not going to sort of come in suddenly. With the Chariot in reverse, this feels like a more gradual build. This is not something that's just trotting forward like at this rapid pace. It really has a sense of slow walking, taking our time, getting to know each other. So I think that when you come out of this space where you're doing some evaluations on your past relationship, where you are currently and where you want to be, and sort of gathering your strength to have these honest conversations, to be able to express your feelings to this other person, is going to be when they appear, when you're ready to get back out in the world. And it's going to be that gradual buildup of getting to know one another that's ultimately going to create a deeper connection than what it is you've experienced before. So let's pull another message from Spirit. Rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. Geminis, a need for quiet time is all throughout this reading, right? From seeing things from a different perspective, from being introspective to sort of slow walking. Rest and relaxation is going to be essential for you in order to build yourself up, to build up your level of discernment, to figure out where it is that you want to plant those seeds. So when this person comes in, you have the ability now to take the time to get to know them. You're not just sort of hopping from one person to the other, to the other, to the other. You are a whole person in and of yourself. Anybody else that comes in needs to be a value add. And it's only going to be from you sort of taking time to realize that for yourself, that you embrace it and sort of adopt that as your modus operandi going forward. So that's what I got for my Gemini collective. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.